Good afternoon. My name is Karim Erzini. I'm a professor of the University of the Algarve and a member of the Center of Marine Sciences. I'm the local coordinator of the IMBRC, which is the Erasmus Mundus International Masters in Marine Biological Resources. So what is the IMBRC? It's the largest global joint international master program in the marine sciences area. It consists of a consortium of 11 European universities. To give you a little bit of background, this is a continuation of two previous masters. The first one started in 2008, which was also an Erasmus Mundus Masters. It was the Erasmus Mundus in Marine Biodiversity, which was extremely successful. We had an average about 50 students a year, and it involved 5 European universities. But as we grew, we decided to grow and expand. We transformed this master's into the International Masters in Marine Biodiversity and Conservation, IMBC+. And now, 2 years ago, we transformed that into this program, which is the IMBRC. So this is an Erasmus Mundus Masters, which means there are some scholarships available for both for non-European students and European students. It has a thematic orientation with 5 specialization tracks. I'll explain that a little bit further. It has a lot of mobility, structured mobility. It's a highly international masters, as we're going to see, and it's also highly connected to IMBRC, which is a big European, pan-European research infrastructure, which is very important because it provides a lot of support for research projects for students, thesis projects, and things like that. So these are the 11 European universities. This master's is coordinated by the University of Ghent in Belgium. And we also have 180 or more than 180 associate partners. What are the associate partners? These are combinations of research centers, other universities, NGOs, and these associate partners are not involved in teaching, but they do offer thesis opportunities, for example, and professional practices for our students. So these associate partners are from all over the world. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this is the biggest international joint masters in the marine science areas in the world. So we started with the first group of students in 2018. We took in 120 students from 45 nationalities. You can see and then the following year we had 93 students, 38 nationalities. Of course, most of them are from the European Union, but you can see that there are students from all over the world. North America, South America, the Far East, and Africa as well, and Australia. So we have 5 specialization tracks, and you have to choose right from the beginning which track you want to follow. These are the 5 tracks: ocean literacy and education, blue biotechnology and bioeconomy, analysis and forecast in marine systems, applied marine ecology and conservation, and fisheries and aquaculture. How does this program function? Well, we have a first semester that is offered by 6 of the 11 universities. And it's the same courses in all of the 6 universities. In all 6 universities, these are the courses that are offered: marine ecology, oceanography, quantitative methods in marine sciences, marine genomics, marine policy and governance, and GIS and spatial planning. These are all required courses. We have one optional course, which is called transferable skills, and this varies from university to university. For example, in our university here, we have very popular scientific diving courses. We have field methods, lab methods, and foreign language. These are, sorry, just a second. Okay. So these 6 universities offer the same first semester, but you choose where you want to start. You can choose any of the 6 universities to start. I must say that our university, University of Algarve, is the most popular. We always receive a greater proportion of students here in the first semester. About a third to a quarter of all the first-year students start at the University of the Algarve. The second semester is the first possibility of mobility. You can either stay at the university where you started, if that university offers the thematic module courses of your specialization, or you move to another university. So this second semester has 18 credits of courses, and it has 12 credits of professional practice. What is a professional practice? Professional practice is you go to one of those 180 associate partners and you get involved in their daily activities. For example, if it's a research center, you get involved in the day-to-day research activity. If it's an NGO, for example, you may be involved in dissemination work or things like that. The objective of professional practice is not to do actual research. You're not supposed to do a report, a scientific report or something like that, but you have 6 weeks where you compile a portfolio of your activities, and that's evaluated at the end. It's to get you to experience a real working environment. Then at the end of June, we have the IMBRC Symposium Thesis Event, which both first-year students and second-year students attend. For the second-year students, it's when they defend their thesis. For the first-year students, they present the results of their professional practice, and they're evaluated at that point. Then the third semester is another possibility of mobility, but the third semester has one feature which is unique to this master's, which is the joint summer school, which actually takes place at the end of July and the beginning of August. So we take all the students to Charno Marine Station in Sweden. Because there's so many of them now, we have to do it in 2 groups of, we have to divide the students in 2, so we actually have 2 summer schools. All the travel, accommodation, and food is paid for, comes out of your tuition. And during these 10 days, groups of students, 4 or 5, each one is supervised by one professor, have to carry out a research project. And then they do the whole thing, write a thesis proposal, carry out the field work or lab work, write a report, analyze the data, write a report, and then present the results. And then they're evaluated based on their presentation and the written report. It's really intensive, but it's really a fantastic experience. So mobility is a key feature of this master's. All the universities offer Erasmus mobility grants. For example, here at the University of Algarve, if you're here in the first semester, you can apply for mobility for the 3rd semester, and also for the 4th semester for the thesis mobility. So the 3rd semester also has 18 credits of specialized courses of your whatever specialization you choose, and also 6 credit online thesis preparation course. The 4th semester is the thesis module. So you work on your thesis from January to June. And here you can do your thesis anywhere in the world, as long as it's in one of those 180 associate partners or in one of the 11 universities, the core universities. The thesis is in the format of a scientific paper. And quite a high percentage of the theses result in a publication, in some cases 2 publications. I would say about 25 to 30% of all the theses result in a publication, which is very good if you're going to go on to do a PhD. And then again, at the end of the 2nd year, in the last week of June, you have the IMBRC Symposium and thesis event, so that if you are in the 2nd year, you present your thesis. If you are first-year students, you present your professional practice. But this is a very good experience for the first-year students because they get to see the thesis defenses, which is like just like a symposium. There's an audience. Each student has to get up and present their thesis. There's a jury that asks questions. The people in the audience can ask questions, and then there's an evaluation of the thesis. So this is just, it summarizes the structure of the masters, of this masters. You have the first semester, which is the fundamental module, which is offered by those 6 universities that you see there: Ghent, Algarve, University of Western Brittany, University of Oviedo, Galway, and March Polytechnic University in Italy. And then you have the second semester, the third semester, and the fourth semester. I won't go into more details. The Masters has a very good web page. It has all this information. So just a couple of examples of types of mobilities. For example, let's say you're interested in the specialization of applied marine ecology and conservation, which is actually the most popular, the one that is most selected by the students. You might want to start here in the first semester, for the first semester, University of Algarve. Then you could go to Ghent University in the second semester, where they focus on experimental marine ecology. Then you have the internship also in the second semester, sorry, the professional practice and the summer school. Then the third semester, you may choose to go to Galway in Ireland, where they focus on tools for marine conservation. And then the fourth semester, you do your thesis somewhere. Second example, let's say you're interested in the fisheries or aquaculture. You could start in Oviedo the first semester, do the fundamental courses in Oviedo. Second semester, you could go to Galway, where they focus on fish health and aquaculture. Third semester, you could go to the University of Bergen in Norway, where they focus on aquatic food production. And then again, do your thesis anywhere, basically, in the world. I talked already about the joint summer school. This is a picture of the Charno Marine Station. Basically, we have it to ourselves. I mean, there are people working there in the summer, but the Swedes tend to finish at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we have basically we have the institute for ourselves, the marine station for ourselves. At the back, in the background, you see the dorms where we stay. We have rooms for around 50, 60 students and staff. And there's a cafeteria with cooks and food. The food is very good. And the buildings in the front are all the labs. There are boats available that we can use. Basically, they let us use whatever we want. And so you have to in groups, do a research proposal, carry out the research, data analysis, report, present it. You also have, each group has to also make a documentary movie of their activities. And you can see some examples at that link there from previous years. So you have, it's a very important activity, this summer school, which is worth 6 credits. It's not only very important for research, but it's also for learning to work with other people in groups, for learning presenting skills, movie and photo skills, etc. Who is this degree for? Well, you need to have a bachelor degree in some scientific area. It doesn't have to be biology. We've had people from many areas in science doing this masters. You have to be proficient in English. You have to do a TOEFL or one of those tests, and there's a minimum score. That's all explained in the web page. It's for people who are passionate about marine sciences, and if you're truly interested in a truly international experience, I think this is the master's for you. As I think I showed in one of the previous slides, typically we have students from more than 40 countries every year. Financial aspects. So these are the enrollment fees. It's 3,500. If you're self-paying student, it's 3,500 euros a year. If you're EU students, 4,500 for non-EU students. but this, you get a lot back because the fee covers participation and enrollment costs at all universities. It covers the costs for the 2 annual symposia, thesis events. So we pay for your travel and your stay and your food. And also the same thing for the summer school. And it also covers insurance. There are some scholarships for non-EU students and also some for EU students. Of course, it's very competitive because we have a lot of people, a lot of candidates for this master's. And there's also regular Erasmus mobility funds. As I explained before, if you're here in the first semester, you have the right to apply for Erasmus mobility funds for the 3rd semester and the 4th semester, wherever you plan to go. We also have some consortium scholarships. You can find out more about that, but those are small amounts, like 1,000 euros per student. There's more information on that on the web page. When and how to apply? It's too late for next year because we already finished, we're full. We have normally 3 rounds of applications. The last round is not open for non-EU students. Only EU students can apply in April, May. It's too late if you're a non-EU student, but you can apply in the first phase, which is from December to January, the second phase from February to March. And it's important to apply as early as possible because the earlier you apply, you're more likely to get the first choice for your first semester university. And of course, we have limits. We cannot accept, 50 students at the University of Algarve for the first semester. That's not possible. So we fill up, and if you apply earlier, the more chance you have of getting in. Where do you apply? It's all online at the web page. You don't apply here at the University of Algarve or at any of the individual universities. You have to apply online and you go to this link, www.imbrc.eu. It's all there. You have to upload some personal data. You have to upload transcripts, your study records, your language proficiency documentation, the results of your TOEFL English test if you're not non-native English language speaker, a motivation letter, and also at least 2 letters of support or referees. Very important, you can apply even if you are still an undergraduate, you're in your 3rd year, for example, of your bachelor's, and you can apply. It doesn't matter, we evaluate you based on your grades up to that point. And then you have until, let's say, September or October to finish. By then, hopefully you have finished your undergraduate degree, your Bachelor of Science degree, and then you provide us the proof that you finished your degree. But you can apply without having finished your degree. This is employability. What happens to our graduates? This is an important aspect, and we keep track of our graduates. And we've done a survey of 200 of our former EMBC and EMBC Plus graduates, and it's very gratifying to see that of these 200 that we surveyed, 90% are employed. Most of them employed in the area that in the marine sciences area. A lot of them went on to do a PhD. Most of them are working in academia, research, and education, 57%, but some in government, some in companies, NGOs. And on the right, you have a picture of one of our more successful recent graduates, Gianni Costa, who was in the EMBC program 2012-2014, and is now the minister or super minister of culture, environment, and tourism in Angola. And so that's it. If you have any questions, as I said, there's my name. If you have any questions, you can always email me. There are 2 other colleagues who are also coordinators of this master's, Professor Deborah Power and Professor Rui Santos. And as I said, the web page has everything you need to know. So you can look at the web page. The application form is there. You can also email the secretariat of the masters in Ghent at info@imbrc.eu. And thank you very much. And if you have any questions.